Fortnite Battle Royale quickly rose to the top of just about every single chart you could possibly imagine. Most concurrent players, most viewers on Twitch, most views on YouTube, most downloaded game within a certain amount of time, so on and so forth. And quite frankly, that list could go on and on and on for a very reasonable amount of time. And without the sudden resurgence of Minecraft within the past few days and weeks, Fortnite would pretty much be uncontended as the biggest video game on the planet. But what if Fortnite didn't make it to where it is today? Or even what if tomorrow we woke up and suddenly Epic Games just decided to pull the plug on Fortnite Battle Royale and canceled the whole game outright? What exactly would happen then? Well, today we're going to be exploring those exact questions as we dive into a world where Fortnite does not exist. There would be no Pro-Am event at E3, there would be no World Cup with millions upon millions upon millions of dollars up for grabs, there would be no awkward news anchors trying to do the floss emote on live TV, there would simply be no floss emote at all. Safe to say, a world without Fortnite would be very, very weird. So let's explore how it almost became a reality and what exactly would happen if it did. So if you guys did not know, the first time that Fortnite Battle Royale was ever shown to the world was back on December 8th of 2011. That's right, even though the game officially launched during the summer of 2017, Fortnite originally hit the internet back in the winter of 2011. Just take that in for a moment, would you? We could have had Fortnite before we saw H1Z1, before we saw PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or PUBG. We could have seen Fortnite before the current generation of consoles ever even came out. Yet for a reason we'll be getting to in just a moment, it took Epic Games about 6 years to fully perfect the game, or at least reach a state suitable enough to release it publicly. So what happened in the years after Fortnite was revealed that caused it to be delayed for over half of a decade? Well, it probably doesn't help all that much that the initial reveal trailer for the game to this day only has 528,000 views and just barely over 2,000 likes, with most of that coming from players revisiting the trailer in the past year or so. So right off the bat, the game didn't really get a whole lot of attention and wasn't really all that anticipated whatsoever. So Epic Games went back to the drawing board while the company's biggest priority at that time remained as Gears of War. In fact, speaking of Gears of War, that franchise is the whole reason that Fortnite is actually alive and well today, because Rod Ferguson, the former director of production at Epic Games, recently came out and said that he nearly canceled Fortnite before he left Epic Games to focus on the Coalition and Gears of War exclusively. In an interview with Game Informer, Rod Ferguson actually said, and I quote, "If I had stayed at Epic Games, I would have canceled Fortnite. Fortnite, when it was just Save the World, that was a project that had some challenges. As a director of production at that time, that game was not something that would have passed my bar to keep going." End quote. So essentially what Rod Ferguson is saying there is that if he had not left Epic Games and focused solely on Gears of War, Fortnite would have straight up and flat out been tossed right into the trash can right then and there, simply because it was not meeting the standards that he had come to expect at that time. Pretty much he was saying that Fortnite Save the World was complete and utter trash. So with that in mind, Rod Ferguson left Epic Games, and the Fortnite crew knew that they had to improve the title immensely, so they went back to work. And what do you know, 6 years later, they reappeared with Fortnite Save the World, but it was new and improved. So they launched it in early access and it got some decent reception, but it was not an absolute banger of a game, no, not just yet. That scenario and situation did not come into play until Battle Royale launched in the fall of 2017. And even then, it still took a few months after that to really pick up, and it wasn't until about the end of Season 2 and the start of Season 3 where the game really started to gain some traction, because this was the time in which a lot of Battle Royale games were popping up left and right to try and compete with H1Z1 and PUBG. However, Fortnite was one of the only titles that could really actually hold its own, and that is largely in part thanks to the building mechanic that really put Fortnite aside as a truly unique gameplay experience, unlike 99% of the other Battle Royale games out there. So what if that just simply never happened? What if Rod Ferguson had stayed at Epic Games and canceled Fortnite Save the World? Chances are that instead of seeing it reappear in 2017 in the form of Save the World and Battle Royale, we would probably have gotten some kind of Gears of War Battle Royale game or Battle Royale mode instead, which is pretty interesting to say because Gears of War and Fortnite are obviously two very, very different games. On top of that, games like H1Z1 and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds could have very easily been in the same place that Fortnite is in now if Fortnite had never actually existed. As some of you guys probably know, streamers like Shroud and Dr. Lupo and especially Ninja were already making a name for themselves on games like H1Z1 and PUBG, and although it might have been Fortnite that really took some of these streamers to a whole new level of success, Ninja, for all we know, might not be the biggest gamer in the world. He might not be pulling 50, 60, 70,000 viewers per stream. Dr. Lupo probably wouldn't be casting the H1Z1 World Cup if such a thing were to ever exist. And Shroud, well, actually, Shroud is pretty much insane at every single game he touches. He'd probably be doing just fine. But truthfully, Fortnite has not only blown up in the gaming industry itself and as a game in general, but it has also sparked the careers of countless individuals. So that is effectively how Fortnite could have been canceled in the past, and what might have happened if in fact it did get canceled all those years ago. But what if Fortnite were to be canceled after Season 10? Or next week, or maybe even tomorrow? Obviously that is unlikely at this point, but there's always going to be that what if. And this one is a pretty big one if I do say so myself. So with that said, let's say the end of Season 10 comes along and we're all anticipating the launch of Season 11. And we're all sitting there anxiously awaiting a new tweet saying, hey, Season 11 is going live on February 30th of 2020. But instead, we get something along the lines of, we regret to inform all Fortnite fans out there that Season 10 is the last season for the Battle Royale mode. Come June 1st, all Fortnite servers will be shutting down. Most likely within minutes of that tweet being sent, chaos and panic would be widespread across the community, especially when it comes to those who do depend on the game and its content for their job. We'd also then have to take a break and think about, well, what exactly is going to be the replacement to Fortnite? Because, as cliche as it might sound, there is always going to be a number one this and a number one that. There is always going to be a top dog, so to speak, so what game could possibly replace Fortnite as the most universally accepted and played game? Well, one title might come to mind, that being Minecraft, since it is kind of already taking over the world for what, like the 9th time now? And who knows, maybe H1Z1 would suddenly spring back into life, or maybe another Battle Royale game would swoop in on that number one spot. Or perhaps the Battle Royale genre would begin to fade away completely. Honestly, all these things I feel like could be very, very possible if Fortnite were to suddenly disappear. At the end of the day though, I think it is really, really interesting to see how much of an impact and how much of an effect that Fortnite Battle Royale actually has on the community and just in the gaming space in general. If it never existed, gaming would be in a completely different light right now. If it got canceled tomorrow, a ton of things would crumble away along with it. And because Fortnite Battle Royale is a thing and it's likely not going anywhere anytime soon, it does and will continue to dictate the direction in which gaming moves as a whole towards a more mainstream thing because, believe it or not, we've really only scratched the surface when it comes to expanding video games and gaming in general as an overall media. Truthfully, gaming still does have a very, very long way to go in this space, but quite honestly, with ambassadors like Ninja and Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Lupo, so on and so forth, we are headed in a very, very good direction if I do say so myself. With that being said though, that is effectively going to wrap things up for today's video. Definitely drop us a comment down below, letting us know what you guys would be doing if Fortnite Battle Royale, or I guess just Fortnite in general, did not exist. Would you be playing a completely different Battle Royale game like H1Z1 or PUBG, or would you not even think of the Battle Royale genre as an intriguing and entertaining style of game? Let us know down below. Of course, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like on it, give it a big old thumbs up as it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you are brand new here to the Simply Fortnite channel, feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on, that way you'll always know when a new video goes live. As always, by joining the notification squad, every single time we post a new video here on the channel, YouTube will actually send you a message letting you know we've gone live. That way you can be the first person to watch, like, and comment on each and every new video. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this one, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on the battle bus. Peace out.